Hello, this is Seamus and 7MYW. I've really been enjoying my Kenwood handhelds. There's plenty of times before on this channel that I've focused on either the Kenwood F6A or the Kenwood D74. Both are absolutely amazing radios. It's interesting how almost 20 years, if not 20 years, separates these two radios from the time that they were made. The Kenwood F6A just holds a special place for me, and you can go back to some of the videos and I'll put them in the comments below, the links in the comments. But the F6A was one of my first tri-band handhelds, and I believe, and if I'd have to go back and find out exactly when I purchased this radio, but I believe it was 2002, 2001. And then this radio, the D74, which definitely needs no introduction because it's relatively recent, I purchased about 3 years ago. And then, of course, as you all know, this radio eventually became discontinued because of the chip fire and et cetera, so no need to rehash all of that. But one thing I do love about these radios, and today I thought I'd do a comparison, is the fact that they both have such an amazing capability of receiving. Now, granted, I will say this, that the Kenwood F6A, for those who might not know a lot about this radio, I'll kind of set this one to the back. The F6A, let's see if I can focus here, is like the D74. This is a tri-band handheld, so for transmitting 2 meter, 220, and 70 centimeters. It holds 400 memories, but one of the great things about this radio is that it will receive from 1 kilohertz all the way up to 1300 megahertz. That's an amazing spread of frequencies to pack into such a small package. You can tell it's not very big. This particular radio, back in the day, I believe set me back about $350, which was a lot of money back then. But what it does is incredible. Now, it is small, it's compact, and if you've got large fingers, let's see if I can... There we go. Make it a little bit easier to see. It's kind of... The buttons are really small, but you can see the screen real easily. What I wanted to do today was show a comparison when it comes to the receive capabilities and what they sound like. Now, granted, the F6A doesn't have some of the newer technology of the D74. The D74 doesn't really need a whole lot of introduction. It's amazing what it'll do. This particular radio, the D74, receives from 100 kilohertz up to, I believe, 76 kilohertz, or 76 megahertz, excuse me, and then gives you the FM frequencies up to 108, and then it goes and takes a jump from there up to 2 meters. It takes you from 144 all the way up to pretty much almost to 470 megahertz. It does not go any higher than that, unfortunately. That is something that I hope is remedied on the next handheld that Kenwood produces, is that it will go all the way up to 1300 megahertz, because we're starting to really see a little bit more interest in those upper bands. You have 33 centimeters and 23 centimeters, both the 900 megahertz band and the 1.2 gigahertz band, which are pretty popular still. They might not be used as much as the other bands, but they're there. And with the introduction of Kenwood's new 905, or 905 is really going to revolutionize things. We can see people getting into super high frequencies. So this radio, it would be nice if it went up higher, but it doesn't, and that's okay. So I want to play these next to each other. Let's see if I can focus here, and let you listen to them on their own merits. So this is playing a local classical station. That is the F6A. Turn that down, and then we'll turn it on over here. Sound is amazing on both of these. One nice thing about the D74 is it has Bluetooth capability, so I can listen to anything on here with my Bluetooth earbuds. It's absolutely amazing. Clarity is incredible, and of course with Kenwood technology, the vocals, the voice capabilities, it sounds so rich and so good. think this is why this is such a popular radio, and it's hoped that they'll come out with another one. Now, when it comes to the actual repeaters themselves, what we'll do is we're going to switch bands. First of all, we're going to turn this up to 220. Do the same thing with this one. Let's see here. Okay, now, well, what does it sound like when it comes to repeaters? The audio. So first of all, N7 MYW testing. Now what we'll do is turn up this one here. N7 MYW testing. And didn't exactly pick the best frequency, so maybe we should go try a simplex frequency and hear what these sound like. So let's do this. Oops. We'll just go on up to 14655. Yeah, we'll just turn the power down a little bit. We'll listen to how it sounds. N7 MYW testing. I'm going to turn up the volume. N7 MYW testing. Yeah, it sounds really good. Now we'll test this one. N7 MYW testing. N7 MYW testing. So, they both sound great. Sound amazing, actually. It's hard sometimes for audio on YouTube to sound amazing. Now, how do these perform when it comes to the other parts of the receive? They sound great, of course, on their individual 3 bands. There's no doubt about that at all. HF is a real interesting thing for both of these radios. I just did a recording or a video about the HF receive capabilities on 20 meters just the other day, and that'll you can check back here just last week, and you can see that video about how well the F6A did and how well does the Kenwood do. About the same. The selectivity between the two is very, very similar. I will say this though, that the scan is a lot faster on the Kenwood, and if I were to go here to scan, let's pick a set of frequencies. Let's go to my local ones here. And if you hold down the MR key, it will scan. Look how fast that goes. Isn't that amazing? Now, what we'll do is we'll go over here.
You ain't coming, I ain't making it in.
We'll turn that down. This one here, the same options. And you can see the difference in scan rates. Definitely a lot faster on the D74, but it does a pretty good job. It does a pretty good job over there on the F6A. Of course, the screen, I mean, it goes without saying that the screen over here is incredible. Pardon all the glares here. But it's absolutely amazing, the screen on here. No, it's not a touch screen. You still have the keypad here. But that's the great thing that designates how great this radio is compared to other radios. You have a full keyboard here with everything at your fingertips. You do have a menu. Of course, your menu's like this. You just use the little joystick. And the same thing actually goes for the F6A. You still have a joystick, which allows you to do things. So if I were to, let me stop this scan, and you can hold on to this, and of course, as you can see, just want to make sure I keep this thing focused. That you can just zip through all of the different menus by using this, and if you want to get to something, you just push it and it allows you to to enable that. So, yeah, it has a different type of menu, there's no doubt. But as you can tell, it does real well. And of course, you can just get on out of that by hitting the push to talk. So, I think that Kenwood has outdone themselves with both of these radios. I won't do an HF test because those have been done all over the place, but you can check out and see that on HF they both have a very good receiver. And if you get a little bit more of an overloaded signal, you can use the attenuator on both of these radios, and it will allow you to attenuate that signal and take it from there. This radio, of course, back when it came out, was about, I paid $499 for this radio, and then of course things happened with the chip factory, and this radio is still being sold for $600, $700, $800 for this radio. You do still find the F6As out on eBay and some of the other amateur radio sites, and you can find this used anywhere from about $225, $250 on up to about $350. I tell you, it is an amazing radio, and for its age is worth it, in my opinion. The fact that you not only have complete all mode from 100 kilohertz all the way up to 1300 megahertz makes this radio absolutely unique. I don't know of any radio currently that is a transceiver that has such a wide receive all mode of anything like that. I don't know of any. The Kenwood here won't receive above about 470, and that's a shame. But there's not a ton up there unless you want to get into some encrypted government or local frequencies, of course, which you can't get into because they're all digital. So maybe somebody will solve that soon. I do hear that Alinco has a radio coming out that's going to be able to receive digital formats up in the higher bands, but it will not have all mode. It's just going to be AM, FM, wide FM, and of course digital. So there are two radios that Kenwood has made right there that are absolutely amazing in what they do, the coverage they have, and both from the same company. So I'm hoping somebody else will come along and do something. Now, I will say this about another radio, and I'll bring that down. And that is, move this on over, that would be the FT3DR. Now, I think the FT3, along with the FT5, I mean, the FT5 has some amazing characteristics that are all borrowed from the FT3. So it's a little bit different case. But the receive on this radio is amazing. Again, you have broadcast bands, HF bands, from 100 kilohertz all the way up to 960 megahertz. So this radio will go all the way up to 900. You can program them into bands, and that's what I've done here. I also actually have a separate band set up for 902 megahertz, and that way I have all of my local frequencies in there. It does not go up to 1.2, and that's a shame, but that's okay. That it goes up here is quite an impressive thing as it is. The only reason I brought the Yaesu into this is because of its extended receive. I'm pretty impressed with it. So that aside, going back to the Kenwoods, I don't know what to say to Kenwood other than I look forward to your next handheld release, and I'm hoping that it's going to be like this. They're very similar, but please bring one out like this, but has all mode all the way up to 1300. And who knows, maybe they'll make this in a mobile version, which I would probably buy too. That would be absolutely amazing. It's incredible what this thing does. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It doesn't have Wi-Fi, it doesn't have Bluetooth. They both do have TNCs for packet though. I have not had a chance to try and work that. That might be what I do next. I am not really a packet enthusiast, but they definitely work well for ARRIs and for emergency services. So I might have to play around with that. So there it is. That's what I wanted to do today. Yeah, I threw this all together. I'm definitely not a professional, and I just get together and have fun playing with these things and making videos that are just really, yeah, okay, they're kind of cheesy sometimes, but I do enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it too. If you enjoyed this video or the other videos, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that too, and I'll maybe get a chance to watch some of the other videos in the past. Let me know what you think, and what your ideas and thoughts are. What do you think they should do for handhelds? What type of things would you like to see in a handheld that they can't or are not doing right now? But got to remember size. You can't have it that size. I mean, we're not talking about making it a large HF rig. These are handhelds, so you know the size is definitely limited. But would you like to see sideband, transmit sideband in a radio? Would you like to see higher frequency ranges, maybe up into the 10 gigahertz range for receive? Let me know what you think. Anyway, thank you so much. This is Seamus and 7MYW saying 73 till next time.